What's going on? It's Justeeni here. We're doing some tiny dry land, not choosing Omaji. What have I done? Have I finally lost it? Yes. Okay, but actually, why am I doing this? This seems completely ridiculous. Why would I be picking Quetzali on tiny dry lands when everyone just picks Omaji? Well, I got a little bit of inspiration. I saw a video from another Polytuber, which I will be linking in the description, using Quetzali on tiny drylands as kind of like an anti-meta option for Omaji, and I thought, hey, that sounds pretty fun. I'm gonna try it, and I'll show these games. I've got multiple games. They were pretty interesting. I get an early meet with this game, literally turn 1. That's as early as it gets. They just steal this, and they're like expanding towards this side of the map, trying to steal all my villages. So, why Quetzali though? I mean, Quetzali has some interesting things going for it. The main thing is the defenders, which are good against riders, believe it or not. And the reason why is like if you step on a village with a defender, usually riders are great at kicking units off cities, but not in the case of Quetzali. Now, defenders are bad at stealing villages, but if you step on the village first, you don't have to worry about that. Now in this case, well, I lose this city, but I also lose this city, but I get the city up here, and that counts for something. It actually does count for something because that's going to be how I get Eye of God with an Explorer there, most likely. I have to get farming for it. That's also another thing with Quetzali, is if you're expanding into Quetzali terrain as Omaji, you don't get much of a benefit. Quetzali farm rate is terrible, like really terrible. So that's kind of another advantage to Quetzali. They've got some nice subtleties that kind of work in their favor. But look at this setup, by the way. We're both tied on cities, but I've got a city up here, and they have 2 cities over here. I don't even know how this happened, but sure. Now I'm just walking my defender here. They already have Eye of God, of course. It's Omaji. But I'm not too far off of it, and they've got a giant, but I'm not really too worried about it. They're sending it to my capital, as if I can't defend it. I don't know, this was kind of a silly play. Hunting Ruin, which is pretty cool. They let me get the Ruin. I don't know, they kind of just let themselves get outplayed a little bit. I smack this rider. They tried to smack this defender, but they just let me get the lighthouse without even needing to get an explorer. So I've got turn 9 is really slow. But now I go border growth because, well, I have a lot of force and I want to get a lot of giants. I get the giant anyway. I just want more giants in the long term. And now I go Park of Fortune here. Forestry up here. Weaken this rider some more. Now they either have to move the rider or lose it. Now they move the giant up, realizing what they should be doing. It's trying to take this city up here. But now I'm trying to pressure over on this side because these cities are very poorly defended. They're kind of very disconnected. I just slap a wall down here. This is a very nice thing that you can do is Quetzali. Just, yeah, now you have to focus literally everything here. But yeah, I'm gonna just kind of be really annoying here. Now they find a really nice line here. They actually hit with the giant first. And that lets them siege and keep this walled city. I still think wall is the correct play because it forced them to lose 10 HP on their giant and 2 units. And dedicate all that just to get the siege. If I didn't have a wall, it would have been way easier for them to deal with. Then they get another giant. But now I'm going to be down cities. But I have a really nice capital. And again, these defenders are really stopping them from being able to actually use their city advantage. The funny defenders are actually pretty good units. I even siege their capital and siege the city. Wait, they just can't unsiege that straight up unless they have construction. And so, yeah, we're going to be back to 3 cities, but then this city is going to be completely isolated. I go math, so now I can get catapults to deal with the giants. And I do just that. Now they have Smithery for some reason, which I siege. I misplay it. I should have sieged with the defender, but I miscalculated. Oh well. It doesn't matter too much. I get a nice catapult push, smack that. They can still kill the vet warrior, but it's the thought that counts. This catapult's gonna completely annihilate them, and again, this city's gonna be gone. So, pretty unconventional. They just give up without resigning. And yeah, this was a pretty crazy game. Again, I'm actually supposed to like annihilate the other person, but they gave me a lot of chances to outplay, and I was able to use those and actually win. But I have another game to show, and I'll go ahead and cut to that. Alright, here's another Quetzali game. Against Amaji once again. Going against the meta. And I go Lighthouse opening. I'm in the north. I go early explore. Meet the opponent. Hoping to just get that lighthouse there, and I do. That's going to allow me to upgrade. Nice and early. They kind of walk in towards me, which is weird. I don't know why they do that. And then I make a defender. The point of this was to like kind of zone of control and be really annoying. This is actually a slight misplay. You'll see why in just a bit. I go org, and I can't upgrade my city. So I just make another defender. And then I make a warrior here to try to control the side of the map, which also means I still can't upgrade my city. If I just had one more star from not making that defender earlier, I'd be fine. Because I'm not even getting an explorer, I get a workshop actually. So I make some silly misplays, but despite that, I have a pretty nice position. I've got archery, and suddenly this city is being pressured really hard. They have a vet sword though, but, well, I can siege, and they can't really unsiege this. They can't deal with this either, and see, the defender's stepping on the village. They just can't deal with it. I'm just getting the city. And then they have a second vet sword. They couldn't giant push, so they just used 2 vet swords. They stole all the ruins on the map. That's kind of the thing that Amaji can still do, but Quetzali can kind of like hold on to things and grind the game out, because they can actually not die in the early game. You can see they rushed that Eye of God, even skipping this village. Which means I have the potential to walk over to this village if they let me. And I'm actually up in cities, which is really odd. Up in cities against Amaji on tiny drylands. Don't see that one every day. And I've got the archer spam. Archers and defenders, a very classic combo. But they've got giants sending my defender over. So now they have to send the other rider on the village instead, and I get climbing. I have a disgusting forge spot here, which I can use if I want, but I don't really need swords. And yeah, it wouldn't be a bad play though. I make some more archers, more defenders, and yeah, I just have like really, really good ability to pressure here. Especially against what Amaji tends to use, which is riders and giants. Defenders are great. And archers as well, because the archers deal with the giants, the defenders keep the archers safe from riders. And they're again struggling to defend. They get knights to deal with my archers, but again, I have defenders getting in the way, being super annoying. So I'm just going to take that out, make this a veteran so they can't chain through. Forestry now. Again, I could go mining. Maybe mining is better, but honestly, it doesn't matter too much. I'm just going to get a bunch of giants anyway. That's my game plan. Whether I do that by smithery or forestry math, it's kind of the same deal. I think smithery is actually a little better probably. But yeah, I'm attacking the city. They have to unsiege. And I'm even stepping on this farm, forcing them to use knight, but I guess I wanted to anyway to chain, so. Now they do get the unsiege with Gate of Power. But I'm also sort of controlling their capital now. Like, they're just completely zoned out. Defenders secretly overpowered? Question mark, question mark, question mark. I don't know what the thumbnail of the video will be. Maybe it'll be something like that. I don't know. Border growth, setting up sawmill stuff. This is just too overwhelming. Just not even touching the riding branch on tiny drylands and winning against the meta, which is Amaji, which likes to use riders a lot. I don't know. Is Quetzali better than Amaji? Like, no, probably not. But they are pretty underrated. They're not a bad tool against Amaji at all. And they are extremely fun. So if you ever want to try some Quetzali Tiny Dry, you'll really annoy Amaji players. And it's very funny. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub. And have a good one.